For decades, we've been told that vitamin C is going to help prevent the common cold. It's going to help prevent the flu. Well, guess what? Decades of research isn't wrong. I want to break down how vitamin C actually helps you when it comes down to preventing the common cold or preventing a flu, especially as we get into the fall and winter months and we really want to start paying attention to what we can do to make sure that we're not out for the count, especially over the holidays. All right, so what do we need to know about the immune system to make a full comprehension with vitamin C? Okay, well, the immune cells are very unique. You see, immune cells actually have specific vitamin C receptors on them. They're unlike any other cell in the body, so they receive vitamin C and they have the ability to pump it inside the cell when need be. So an immune cell on its membrane has a receptor. Vitamin C comes in the body and the immune cell picks it up and has its own discretion whether or not it uses that vitamin C or keeps it solid on the membrane. So when we get sick or during a time of infection or anything like that, the immune cell has the ability to pump that vitamin C in from the membrane into the center of the cell. Now, what's kind of wild is that researchers don't have a lot of conclusive evidence as to what is actually happening once the vitamin C is inside of an immune cell. We know some of the things, but all we do know is that when we're sick or when we're battling an infection, our needs for vitamin C upregulate tremendously. So that receptor, that pump, that ability to move the vitamin C from the membrane into the center of the cell ends up ramping up as soon as we're sick. So we can end up having an increase of 100-fold when it comes down to vitamin C inside the cell compared to the plasma level. So when we're sick, 100 times the amount of vitamin C inside the cell. This obviously starts a vicious cycle because when you're sick, you need more vitamin C, but you're not getting it from your diet. It's the worst time to be upregulating and the worst time to be in a vitamin C deprived state. That's exactly why when you get sick, we always hear that you should be consuming vitamin C. The problem is it's been so over-marketed and so just put out there that we're kind of numb to it. We're immune to it, for lack of a better term. But I want to make sure that we understand how awesome it truly is to have vitamin C in our corner. So let's look at the different immune cells and how vitamin C is known to at least function with these particular immune cells. First off, we have natural killer cells. Okay, NK cells are sort of like the hitmen of the immune system. You have specific T cells that go around and they place a label on foreign bodies. Okay, so foreign invaders, different kind of infections, things like that. They place a label on it. Then it's the job of the NK cells to travel throughout the body and kill whatever has a label on it. Well, vitamin C increases the natural killer cell's ability to find where there's a label. That's all that we really know. We just know that there's more effectiveness with the natural killer cells in identifying where the T helper cells have placed a label. Okay, then we have the neutrophils. Okay, neutrophils fight bacterial infection. And we're talking about bacterial infections, they are neutralized or killed in a completely different way than typical viruses. So what they do is they travel around the body and they go ahead and they engulf or actually envelop the bacterial infection. And then they shoot them with a very short-lived oxygen-free radical. What this does is it kills it at its very root, and it's a very precise process. So what happens with vitamin C is vitamin C improves the ability for these neutrophils to actually engulf the bacterial infection. That's all we know again as well. We know that they have a greater ability to engulf larger infections. Then we talk about another process of the immune system. We're talking about lymphocytes. It's the job of lymphocytes to produce what are called antibodies. Okay, antibodies are what allow us to resist the cold and flu or resist diseases. So if we have these lymphocytes and we have a good number of lymphocytes, we can produce more antibodies. And vitamin C has of course been shown to produce more lymphocytes. So therefore we're actually able to produce more antibodies, which leads me into the next thing. Vitamin C has also been shown to directly stimulate the production of IgA, IgG, and IgM immune cells, meaning that we have the ability to produce the right kind of antibodies for any given situations directly just from extra vitamin C. But this wouldn't be a typical Thomas DeLauer video if I didn't reference, of course, a study. So this study was published in the journal Nutrients, and it took a look at 28 individuals broken into two separate groups. One group received 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily. The other group, a placebo. Okay, what they found at the end of this study is the group that ended up receiving the placebo had an 85% instance of contracting the common cold versus the vitamin C group only at 47%. Now they also found at the end of the study that the vitamin C group on average had a cold length that was 59% shorter in duration. So that means that not only does vitamin C actually boost our immune system as far as this research study goes, but it also shortens the life of a cold too. Now there's another avenue in which vitamin C could be helping us out. Okay, we have to remember that our first line of defense against any kind of illness is our mucous membranes, okay? Our nose catches stuff, our saliva catches stuff, and it stops these colds from coming into the system in the first place. They literally are our first line of defense. But the big thing that people forget about is that vitamin C is pivotal in collagen production. And when it comes down to mucus, there's a lot of collagen in that. So if we're not producing enough collagen, then we're not able to actually have that first line of defense. And that's one of the key roles inside the body for vitamin C, is to allow us to produce collagen. So unfortunately, like I mentioned, unless you're getting vitamin C from an exogenous source, it's very easy to fall into a deprived state. And the second that your immune system ramps up, you're gonna need that vitamin C. And that's why it's important to sort of have a backlog of it in the first place and make sure that you're always adequately armed when it comes down to vitamin C. And PuraTHRIVE uses a micellar liposomal delivery of this vitamin C so that you don't only just get it in your system, it stays in your system. Because vitamin C is water soluble. That means it's coming in one end and right out the other, whether you like it or not. So if you're able to find a way that it can be absorbed and utilized properly, your chances of getting sick are significantly less. So make sure you click on the link down below and check out PuraTHRIVE's micellar liposomal vitamin C, the product that's sweeping the nation when it comes down to the fall and winter months. I'll see you on the next page.